Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, so if you live anywhere near the coast here in San Diego, you know exactly the feeling I'm about to describe. You're sitting out on your beautiful patio, right? The sun's just starting to dip below the horizon, the weather is literally absolute perfection, and then boom, you are under attack. You're getting absolutely eaten alive, but you look down to swat whatever's biting you, and nothing. Not a single thing there. It is maddening. Well, today we are cracking the ultimate coastal homeowner mystery. We're going to clear up exactly what's hunting you, and more importantly, help you finally reclaim your sunset. Let's get right into it. It's just beyond frustrating, isn't it? You finally retreat inside, totally defeated, and within hours, your ankles and legs are covered in these intensely itchy, painful red welts. And since you never actually saw the bug, your mind just naturally starts racing. Is it a mosquito, fleas, some kind of crazy, invisible sand flea? I mean, this mystery absolutely drives San Diegans crazy, especially if you're living near the beaches, bays, or lagoons. You pour all this time and money into making your backyard this perfect little oasis. You just want to kick back with a drink, but these invisible attackers make it feel utterly impossible to relax. We have all been there. Okay, let's dive into this and officially unmask our culprit. Those itchy welts, they're not from an invisible bug, and they usually aren't from mosquitoes either. You, my friend, are dealing with no-see-ums. Scientifically, they belong to a genus called Culicoides, but practically speaking, they're just tiny biting midges. And here's a totally fascinating, if kind of annoying fact about their biology. Only the females bite you. Yep, just like mosquitoes, the female no-see-um needs a super nutritious blood meal to successfully develop her eggs. The males? Well, they just peacefully sip on flower nectar, leaving all the actual dirty work to the females. Now, you're probably wondering, why on earth can't I see them? Well, it's all about their size. We're talking a microscopic 1 to 3 millimeters. To put that into perspective, that's roughly a quarter of the size of your average everyday mosquito. I mean, they are tiny. This incredibly small stature is exactly why they earned the colloquial name no-see-ums in the first place, right? It's also why they fly completely under the radar until the bite actually starts to itch. And here is the absolutely crucial part for homeowners. 1 to 3 millimeters means they are small enough to slip right through the mesh of a standard window or door screen. You might think you're perfectly safe inside with the windows cracked to catch that evening coastal breeze. But those standard screens, they're basically open doors for these guys. Because they're so ridiculously small, they constantly get mistaken for other household pests. So let's clear up that confusion right now. Look, if something tiny is hovering around your kitchen drains or your overripe bananas but not biting you, those are just gnats or fruit flies. Super annoying, sure, but they don't bite. Now, if you're getting bitten but you hear that distinct, high-pitched whine buzzing past your ear, and you can actually see the bug landing on your arm, that's a mosquito. But no-see-ums? Let's check the facts. Do they bite? Oh, absolutely. Do they make a sound? Nope, completely silent. Do they pass right through standard screens? You bet. If your biter is silent, invisible, and waltzing right through your window screens, you've definitely got no-see-ums. So why are they such a localized nightmare right here in San Diego? Honestly, it comes down to real estate. No-see-ums breed in wet, organic material. Think moist soil, mud, decaying vegetation, marsh edges, that sort of thing. And our gorgeous coastline is absolutely packed with these perfect little nurseries. If you live near hotspots like San Elijo Lagoon or Mission Bay, or maybe over by Paticatos or the Tijuana Estuary, you are right in prime territory. But here is the key takeaway. No-see-ums are remarkably weak flyers. They literally cannot travel far from where they hatch. So if you're getting swarmed, it means you are right next to their breeding ground. And they're just taking full advantage of our warm, calm San Diego evenings when there's zero wind to blow them away. Now, what's really interesting about this is that the sheer misery of their bite comes down to mechanical biology. Check out the difference in their approach. Mosquitoes, they're surgical. They use this specialized needle-like mouthpart to cleanly pierce the skin. But no-see-ums, they use a downright brutal cut and pull method. The female literally slices open your skin with tiny, jagged mouthparts and then basically drinks from the small pool of blood that forms. Yikes, right? And to keep the blood from clotting while she feeds, she injects her saliva right into the wound. It's that specific saliva, combined with the jagged physical cut itself, that triggers such a massive immune reaction in your body. That is exactly why you get those huge raised red welts, the painful blisters, and that intense itching that hangs around for days. Okay, I know that sounds a little horrifying, but there is a major silver lining here. While they are a severe biting nuisance, no-see-ums in the United States are not considered significant disease carriers for humans, unlike mosquitoes in our area, which, are very real vectors for diseases we actually have to actively monitor. These tiny biters are mostly just a massive irritation, and this is an incredibly important distinction for your peace of mind. When you're dealing with no-see-ums, you do not need to panic about getting sick. Your primary focus is really just comfort, reclaiming your yard, and managing any local allergic reactions to the bites themselves. You absolutely have the power to fix this without that heavy fear factor hanging over you. So the crucial point is, how do we actually stop them? Well, since they breed in damp organic matter, your absolute first line of defense is right in your own yard. Step 1, you've got to dry out those breeding sites. You need to inspect and fix any overwatering or irrigation leaks, and actively improve the drainage in those low, perpetually soggy spots on your lawn. Step 2, clear away the dampness. Take a weekend afternoon to rake up any soggy mulch, thick leaf litter, and decaying plant debris, especially if it's right up next to your patio or your home's foundation. Remember, less standing moisture directly equals fewer larvae. By systematically cutting off their local water supply, you are literally stopping the next generation before they ever take flight. Now, while you're waiting for the yard to fully dry out, you obviously want immediate relief. And this brings us back to their biggest biological weakness. They are terrible, terrible flyers. Seriously, they're the worst. And you can use this against them right now. First off, upgrade your window screens to a fine no-see-um mesh. It's got a much tighter weave specifically designed to block them out while still letting that nice breeze roll in. Second, just run a regular box fan or a ceiling fan right out on your patio. Moving air easily overpowers them and keeps them away from you completely chemical-free. Third, tweak your schedule. Bites really spike at dawn and dusk on perfectly calm days, so shifting your patio time to midday or breezier evenings cuts your exposure way down. And finally, if you absolutely must be out during peak calm times, standard repellents with DEET or picaridin work beautifully to keep them off you. Let's move to and see how this builds when we talk about a long-term strategy, because there is a massive misconception out there. A lot of folks think they just need a quick bug fogger for the yard to solve the whole shebang. Nope, that is the fogging myth. See, a single chemical fog only kills the adults that happen to be flying around in the air on that specific evening. It does absolutely zero to the thousands of larvae sitting safely in your moist soil. Within days, your yard is just going to fill right back up with a brand new generation. True lasting relief means attacking the root cause. It requires professionally drying out the moisture source, combined with a targeted residual treatment on the surrounding vegetation where the adults rest during the day. That is how you finally break the reproductive cycle for good. Which brings us to our final question for today's explainer. Are you ready to actually take back your San Diego sunset? You now know exactly who your invisible enemy is. You know how they operate, why they love living in your yard, and most importantly, you know their biggest biological weaknesses. You absolutely do not have to surrender your beautiful coastal evenings to these tiny biters anymore. So I challenge you, as soon as we're done here, go step out into your yard. Check your irrigation for leaks, look for that soggy mulch near the patio, and maybe just go plug in a simple fan right next to your favorite outdoor chair. Take away their moisture and their calm air, and you literally take away their power. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this explainer. And hey, here's to enjoying your patio in perfect peace once again.